faith, though I was never religious. Losing my patience while I pray for forgiveness. Washing my hands, but the water is wasted. I tried the darker side, then I liked how it tasted. I tried to stay away from the dead and the living. It's hard to find an end when you have no beginning. I'm burning in hell, but I'm already in heaven. I'm going to war and I've chosen my...
The history on this tree is actually crazy. The KKK used to meet there during the 1920s, yeah. And that's why there's already a really bad vibe around the tree. And apparently there's like, you know, there's housing there now and stuff like that. Like that's what I was reading. And so like that road I guess people go on, it wasn't there back then. So, you know, the police couldn't come and find the KKK and they would go and lynch the African Americans by the tree. So also, I found out that if you try and like burn down the tree or you try and cut it, and apparently it's from the pictures I could tell there's already axe marks taken out of the tree, that you come to an untimely end. And on every source it just keeps saying an untimely end.
So apparently snow doesn't fall around the tree for an 8 to 10 foot circle around it. I guess because of how warm the tree is, because it's apparently a portal to hell. So because of all that like unnatural heat, the snow will land there.
So from my research, I found a bunch of accounts of different people that have gone to the tree and done different things. This one, a group of friends went to the tree at night and they touched the tree. And afterwards they went out and they noticed that their hands had turned black. And it says like it was all of a sudden. They don't know why, but it took 2.5 hours to get the blackness off. Other accounts share how some people climbed the tree and voices from the inside burst them off of it. And when they landed, they broke their ankle in 2 places.
Oh
and so there's lots of accounts of people interacting with this tree and not going well.
So for the statistics though, like the tree is about 200 years old, so that's a pretty dang old tree. And it's about roughly 11 yards high in the general area, since like you said, it's all developments now. There's no trees around that tree, it's just one tree.
So I was looking at how the Devil's Tree got its name, the Devil's Tree, and there's strangely no origin story to its name. I couldn't find anything. No local people had any ideas, no articles, nobody having testimony and talking about the name. From what I can tell, for as long as the tree's been standing, it's been called the Devil's Tree by not just our generation, but several before us.
So it's just like a nickname that's caught on because of the myths, maybe?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense because you were talking about how it's a possible portal to hell, so there, I guess the devil could come play in, but I don't know.
Kind of name itself, I guess?
Well, and the activities that's been surrounding the tree, like the KKK being there, people not being able to touch it and falling out and hanging themselves, that's kind of, in the olden days, that might be seen as the devil's work. So maybe that's why.
True. Like the devil kind of enticed them to go to the tree
Yeah.
to do bad things.
Kind of disappointed that we can't find the origin of the name. I'd like to know like how it got that name.
I want to know why they kind of like picked that tree. You know, like was it like you saying, like almost the tree called them a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
And since it was like the only tree in the area, and it probably had like really good branches to do like hanging, suicide, stuff like that, it was probably like the perfect place.
Yeah.
Well, and the tree had a branch called the hanging branch, but it was recently cut off by the county. So, I mean, we're not going to be able to see it, but from the pictures I've seen, it was a perfect branch for that, which is why people used it.
So the town cut it down because
it was just getting in the way, and it was there was threats of it falling down, so they cut it down so it wouldn't hurt anybody.
I'm nervous, guys.
I'm too. Are we ready?
Yeah, I got the
Let's do it.
water, got the rosaries. I think we're all set.
Exorcist salt.
Exorcism salt.
All right.
Let's go.
I guess we're ready.
Jackie left on a cold dark night, telling me he'd be home. man came, said your Jackie's gone, we are lost in the rain. And I ran to the beach and laid me down. You're all wrong, I said, and they stared at the sand. That man knows that sea like the back of his hand. He'll be back sometime.
I was holding the rosary. I don't know what was going on, but like I was just looking at the tree, and then I felt like this movement next to me on my left hand, which is where the rosary was being held. And for real, I was standing still, and then all of a sudden I looked down, and the rosary is just moving like drastically, like something ran past it and made it move.
And the
I don't
temperatures
know.
of ours were different.
Yeah.
Yours was like ice cold. Mine was like boiling hot.
Right after that happened.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I did not touch the tree.
Oh, me too. I couldn't handle that. But you know,
we
like,
both did.
We did.
but even when I didn't touch a tree, like, you know, I had like the beginnings of a headache, but
Yeah.
it didn't get into like the stages of an actual headache.
I was extremely nauseous. Like after we touched it, like
Really?
we were like hanging around for like a couple minutes, and like I was like it wasn't good, and I've never felt like that. It wasn't just like, oh, I don't feel good. Like it was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
For me,
was that?
afterwards, like I felt like tingling up my arms, and then it like slowly went to my chest and torso.
Do you think that having holy water on your hands when you touch the tree did anything?
It definitely gave me more peace, in my opinion.
I feel like it's more of a mental game in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just knowing, like I did the best I could. You know, I did
Exactly.
covered all my
Well, and
Exactly.
then Grace, how did it feel when you touched the cut in the tree?
like some kind of weird energy. There was an air. There was a. It almost felt like there was like, no, like kind of like a wind coming from it of heat, and it was like, yeah.
So like it didn't want you to touch
Touch
it.
it. Yeah, like kind of like a
That's where it was
ward.
wounded.
Well, and the trunk was black.
It was
Like, you
100%
could
black.
not
Somebody tried to
mistake
burn
that.
that down.
Yeah.
Well, did someone try to burn it down, or do you think it's just like that? Because I couldn't tell. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like there are accounts of them trying to burn it down, but the black marks didn't look like it was burned. It kind of looked like, I don't
Yeah.
know, they were circles, and I was like, what are the
It was
circles?
weird.
It didn't even like smell burnt. It didn't have
Yeah,
any like.
Yeah.
There was nothing around it. That
Well, and
gave
even when you
remnants.
touched it, there was no char that came off
That's
on your
true.
hands.
Yeah.
It was
Hands
bark.
completely-
It wasn't.
Yeah.
You had bark on your hands. You didn't have char, which would happen if
Right.
you touched a
That's true.
burn. So that was really weird too. I think we learned a lot from this project, like the impact that local legends have on different societies and groups of people, and
Yeah.
how impactful it is for the culture. Like
Exactly.
that this one tree has such an impact that people won't cut it down, that people won't touch it, like Mary Kate and I.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, I find it funny because like when we started talking about the project, it's like, oh yeah, I'll touch it. It's a tree. Who cares?
Exactly.
And then and
When
then
we
like once I got there, I was like,
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know why I don't feel
Why
good.
did I
and
sign
like,
up for this?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like pretty like enthusiastic about touching it. Then like after I touched it, I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Oh no.
I've been waiting all this time for my man to come, take his hand in mine and lead me away to unseen shores. I've been washing the sand with my song to tears, searching the shore these long years.